G'day, mates. Here's something that's gonna stir the pot. A brand new $25 million solar initiative that the Albanese government claims will help Aussies struggling with skyrocketing power bills. But is it really the game changer they are making it out to be? Or just another political stunt to keep the green energy crowd happy? Well, let's break it down. Earlier today, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, alongside Climate Change and Energy Minister Chris Bowen, fronted the media in Ashfield, NSW, to unveil the so-called Solar for Residents initiative. It's a federally funded program that'll be rolled out by the New South Wales government with the aim of making solar power more accessible to apartment residents. The idea? Strata managers and owners corporations will be able to apply for co-funding to install shared rooftop solar systems on apartment buildings. And, according to the PM, this could slash electricity bills by up to $600 a year for some residents. Now, before we get all excited, let's take a step back. Albanese made a big deal about how Australia is leading the world in solar panel adoption, boasting the highest per capita rooftop solar installations globally. But here's the kicker. Only 3.5% of apartments are currently connected to solar power. And that's where the government says this program will step in. Sounds good, right? Well, not so fast. This move raises a heap of questions. First off, $25 million isn't exactly a game-changing investment when you consider the massive number of apartment buildings across New South Wales. And let's be real, governments love to throw around big numbers, but when you break it down, will this funding even be enough to make a real dent? And here's something else that's got people talking. While the Albanese government is pushing solar as the way forward, the opposition is tearing into their energy plan, calling it short-sighted and ignoring the elephant in the room, Australia's growing energy crisis. Former NSW Liberal Minister Andrew Constance recently spilled the beans, admitting the coalition doesn't have a clear position on the Paris Climate Agreement anymore. Meanwhile, Peter Dutton and the Liberals are spruiking nuclear energy as the long-term solution, a plan that, let's be honest, would take decades and cost an eye-watering $600 billion. That's right, $600 billion for nuclear power, which wouldn't even be up and running until the 2040s. And that's assuming they somehow manage to overturn existing state and federal bans on nuclear energy. So, here's the dilemma. While Albanese is throwing small change at solar, Dutton's big plan is locked in fantasy land. And all the while, everyday Aussies are still stuck with skyrocketing power prices and an energy grid that's struggling to keep up. Now, let's talk about what this solar plan actually means for you. If you're a homeowner in a standalone house, this won't change much. You've probably already got access to solar rebates. But if you're living in an apartment, this might finally be your chance to get some solar savings. The catch? You'll have to rely on your strata committee to apply for funding and hope they don't stuff it up with endless red tape. Albanese and Bowen are hyping this up as a win-win, good for the environment, good for the hip pocket, and a step towards cutting emissions. But let's not forget, this isn't the first time an Aussie government has promised cheaper power through renewables. And yet, here we are, still paying through the nose for electricity. And while the government boasts that they've approved enough renewable projects to power 8 million homes, it's fair to ask, where's the actual relief for everyday Aussies? Here's the reality. Power prices are still through the roof. The transition to renewables is happening too slowly to make a real difference right now. The government is caught in a political war over energy, while families are struggling to keep the lights on. So, is this $25 million initiative a step in the right direction? Sure. But is it the game changer that Albanese wants you to believe it is? That's up for debate. Applications for the program open today and close on December 1st, or until the money runs out. So, if you live in an apartment and want to get in on this, you'd better move fast. But here's the big question. Do you think this is enough, or is the government just slapping a band-aid on a broken system? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want the real stories behind Aussie politics and energy policy. Because at the end of the day, you deserve to know the truth.